welcome back to the CFC Talk podcast. And what a game we had tonight. I think we're all sleepy, we're all ready to hit the bed. So this is probably going to be one of those podcasts which are going to be kind of a stretch to record. But at the same time, before we get into this podcast, I have to thank you guys for all the support on the Tottenham episode. We absolutely smashed it on there. I think it was one of our fastest viewed videos where I think we got over 50 listens across all platforms in one day. And the viewer retention on that was incredible. So thank you for the support on that. So make sure you leave a like rating on these as well, on this podcast as well, and do all of the things. But we'll tell you that at the end. Again, Tottenham 0, Chelsea 0. So tonight's agenda, we're going to be reviewing that game, of course. We're going to be joined by our lead writer, the lead writer of CFCTALK as well as previewing the Rennes versus Chelsea game, and then having a bit of a chat about FPL at the end with the Champions League as well. So guys, for tonight, because this is a coincidence, I'm going to have to address this because we've got Alex, who's usually on the podcast, and then our lead writer is also called Alex. So for tonight, we're going to address the original Alex as Jose parked the bus.
Oh no. Yeah, this is the only way. I think next we need to hire another Mohammad or Amart for our lead writers, and then we can get them on so I can get some revenge. But yeah, we'll do our best to not avoid confusion.
And then the usual names, Amart and then Alex, will be our lead writer instead of the original one. This is very confusing. I was tempted to go with Tippler and Alex because I'm used to that, but whatever, it's all good. So Alex, how are you doing tonight?
That's you, Alex. Remember, I'm Jose part of the past.
Yeah, I was being polite.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm okay. I was needlessly nervous for the match. It seems. I feel all right now. A little bit underwhelmed, but yeah, I'm feeling okay.
Great to hear that. Of course, Amart, how are you feeling tonight?
I mean, it's definitely a disappointing result because we definitely wanted to get the win. That would have taken us to the top of the table, and yeah, we could have been leveled on the same points with Liverpool. So I'm really not sure, but I think this we could have gone above. No, wait. Let me start all over again.
Oh, he's getting straight into that, isn't he?
Yeah, let me start over again. I think I just I just dozed off there, and then so ask your question again. Sorry, ask your question again.
I just asked you how your night was going. I think we were gonna get into the prediction, the discussions a little later. But yeah, sure.
Someone came to my door, so like it's just took my attention off what I was saying. So. It's okay.
No worries. I just asked how your night was going so far after the game.
Yeah. I think we said it in previous episodes that the results of Chelsea games affects our moods, and yeah, it did. It really did. Even before we started recording, you could tell everybody was a bit down. It's definitely a disappointing result because we could have gone above Tottenham on the table, but now we are in a very difficult situation because if Leicester wins tomorrow, they will be on top of us, and then we'll go back to fourth place, and we didn't want that. So yeah, it's disappointing, but what I saw from the defense was very, very, very good. So there was still a silver lining in the game. So I'm not really so down about it. But yeah, we preferred to get a win.
I think usually every time I ask a question, how was Chelsea's performance or how would you rate that performance? But tonight, let's switch it up. Alex, how good was Jose and then Tottenham at defending and sitting back with almost 9 men at time behind the ball?
I think it's typical Jose. I saw the quote circling around of the quote he used when Tottenham came to Stamford Bridge. I think it might have been in 2005, where they parked 10 men behind the bus and he criticised them and said, if you play a game where all you do is defend, that's not football. The tables have turned a little bit, haven't they? I think it was a pragmatic performance by Tottenham. They were quite professional. It was a bit underwhelming, wasn't it? You're hoping to see kind of Chelsea controlling the game and then some counter-attacking football from Tottenham, but they didn't even really try the counter-attacking that much. I thought Son and Kane were kind of ghosted through the match for the most part. Yeah, I don't know. I think Lampard will be the more disappointed of the two managers for sure.
I think that's how it sounded as well with the media reviews after the game, and the players' tweets. So I've tried to open this up on Twitter a few times, but I've got two tweets right now with me. I've got Serge Reguilon's tweets on my feed, as well as Thiago Silva. Um, so Thiago Silva's just tweeted, "Not the best result we wanted." Basically saying we should have gotten a win. And then there's Serge Reguilon. I don't know if you guys have had the chance to look at the tweet, but he's just said, "When you tie at Stamford Bridge but remain top of the Premier League," and he's got a picture of himself laughing, while his manager stepped out in front of the media and said, "This is not a result that we wanted. The boys are not happy." Jose, the fake Jose, how are you feeling about that one?
Yeah, to be fair, I'm willing to excuse Regulon. I mean, if you kind of follow him on his socials, he seems quite an upbeat guy. So I, but I do see where you're coming from, though, Mohammed. It's, I do like at this point we can't really take Mourinho's comments on anything as gospel. We kind of just after it's Jose. He's never gonna say, oh yeah, we got dominated for the whole game and we parked the bus. He's never going to admit to any of that. So, yeah, it was really frustrating to see Spurs just do that. Yeah, from the Spurs point of view, they probably will be unhappy because Kane and Son got shut out of the game or shut down, and because of that, we have to give credit to our defense. Absolutely, all the midfield and the defense, and defensively, thought we were pretty good today. Although there were a couple of hiccups, like I think maybe both you or the three of you will remember when I think Kante was trying. Sorry, no, they played the ball over the top. No, right. So it was when it was just Kante and Mendy both going for the same ball, and then Mendy kind of cleared it. But sorry, no, Kante kind of cleared it, but it looked like a bit of a miscommunication. And
Yeah,
also,
Mendy.
and also in like the 90th minute when I cannot remember who passed it, but I
Zuma,
think we
Zuma.
Zuma, and we created like a 2v2 after completely dominate. Like I don't think they did anything in the second half other than the Lo Celso shot that was pretty weak. But yeah, they did nothing except for that 2v when we just handed a chance at the end, and I was thankful that they didn't. But yeah, you can understand why Spurs should be unhappy because yes, we did shut them. We did a really good job to shut down their attack, but it's definitely ultimately us that can be a lot more annoyed because we completely controlled the game, and a couple of things that we'll probably get into later kind of caused just
I think that the Celso chance, going back at that one, I think he realized Mendy's going to save it anyways. Might as well just shoot it off target. I think he knows Mendy can catch anything, and yeah, realistically, that should have gone in. And talking about that, on the other end, Amart, Giroud almost getting who was it who just tried to give a back pass to Hugo Lloris, and then Giroud almost scored, but luckily or unluckily for Chelsea, there wasn't enough speed on the ball to just chip it over Lloris. So, how are we feeling about that one, Amart?
yeah, man. Like I don't have a lot of hair, but if I had a lot of hair, I'll be pulling it out at that time because that was that was like the only clear cut chance we had in that second half. Because yeah, we had chances in the second half, but this one was just put on a platter for us, and I mean, Giroud comes like he comes good for us in situations like this, but he just I don't know. I think he was rushing or he didn't expect that mistake to come or what. But I think he made a wrong decision because he would have taken his time. Usually, Giroud smashes this once. I don't know why he decided to chip out. The last time, I don't think I remember the last time he scored any chip goal like that. He usually smashes these things, and I was shocked. And it wasn't just him, because there are a lot of people that we thought, like, the chances that they got, they usually buried them, but this time they didn't. Ziyech was an example. Werner did the same thing. Abraham was unlucky sometimes, but that chance was the golden chance. That was the chance for us to steal it at the end, and it didn't happen. So yeah, I think a lot of Chelsea fans. I think for like about 15 minutes get to the end, I wasn't sitting. I was standing. So like when that chance came and we didn't take it, I was very very disappointed, man. And yeah, it was a mistake from them, and then we could have got the win, but we didn't.
I think when I look back and I if I go back to the last episode and how we talked about we want to take revenge for the Carabao Cup loss, and we want to repeat what happened at the Battle of the Bridge 2015, was it 2016, something like that, when Hazard equalised with that goal. And that really got our expectations really high, and we didn't realise that it was going to be Jose Mourinho sitting back with 9 men behind the ball and Harry Kane having to chase those loose balls. One thing I really liked is the fact that Mourinho had the audacity to go out and say, we tried to counterattack. And if I remember last season, we did kind of get a lot of concede a lot of goals from counterattacks, and tonight we keep another clean sheet. And Edouard Mendy now on 8 clean sheets in 11 appearances. Alex, how good is that, and how much of an improvement is that from Kepa, who I haven't mentioned in the last 5 episodes at least?
Alex,
Alex.
Sorry, I muted myself to be polite again, and then I didn't mute it to speak. Yeah, I think Mendy's stat is a fantastic stat. I think it's something that Chelsea fans have been crying out for well, since we signed Kepa, really. I think Kepa was obviously good enough when we were with Sarri, but last season you kind of knew if Kepa didn't step up, he would be replaced. And I think he was given the sad reality with Kepa is I think a lot of Chelsea fans wanted him to succeed, and now the faith that Lampard kept putting in him to try and give him an extra chance, and he didn't repay that faith. You know, he kept making such huge highlighted mistakes. With Mendy, it does seem like the players and Lampard himself just feel safe with him being there. I know there was the Kante Mendy mix up, but again, with Kepa in goal, I think that we lose this game 1-0. I think, or you know, Chelsea last season wouldn't have been as resolute as we were. Like you guys said, with Mourinho, you know what you're going to get. I think we were in a bit of a weird mix, weren't we, where we were so cautious of the counter-attack that he's been playing all season. So I saw a lot of people sort of lamenting the substitutes not coming a bit earlier, Pulisic and Havertz. But I do think that Lampard was quite intelligent with that. I think he was expecting Mourinho to hope for the more attacking substitutions towards the end of the game. So I think keeping the team as it was actually the safe bet. But yeah, I think Chelsea last season lose that game 1-0. I think this season we were unlucky not to win it, and I don't think at any point did we look like we were going to lose the game, except maybe the Zuma mistake at the end. But even then, we kind of got ourselves out of trouble.
I think one of the biggest factors in a lot of the Chelsea fans, including myself, not being happy tonight with the draw, and even though you could argue the other way and say that Spurs have got such a good streak, they were top of the table, they're now top of the table again. They look like contenders. The way Harry Kane and Heung-min Son have linked up throughout the season, Harry Kane having 9 assists. So but tonight, on paper, on in if you look at the stats and if you look at the goals on target, the shots on target, the shots taken, possession, any stat you look at, you see Chelsea. You look. It looks like Chelsea were about to score or wanted that win more than Mourinho and Tottenham Hotspurs. But Jose, park the bus. I can't take this seriously.
I'm sorry. I'll pick a normal name next time, just not Alex. I'll go. You know what? Next time I'll go just for my last name. But since this is the first time we've had a name mix up, I promise.
I think it'll have to be me that changes my name out of politeness. You're the resident podcaster. I'd have to just have my name as guest or something like
But
that.
you're the guest. You can't have you have to have your own name as the guest. You've got to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll come up with a pseudonym, like Mr. Chelsea or something like that.
Yeah. Frank reincarnated. Sorry, Mohammed, could you repeat the question? Sorry, I didn't quite catch.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. I think when we look at the stats, Chelsea on paper looked like the team who wanted to win, and a lot of those chances that we took and the shots that we took, Tammy Abraham, Timo Werner, we weren't clinical in the finishing, and Ziyech as well wasn't at his best. The way we saw him at Krasnodar, I think after that performance, we haven't seen him to be at his best. But how would you rate that, and how important is it for someone like Tammy Abraham to convert the chances he got tonight?
So I saw there were a couple of there were quite a few players who I thought in the attacking phase levels of passing or the accuracy of the passing just wasn't good enough. So Ziyech is one of them, misplacing just more passes than you'd think. Chilwell in the attack when we were attacking. Chilwell too, I thought attacking had some good passes, but was also I thought we were just in the attacking. We were just misplacing a lot of passes, and then with the whole Reece thing, so there were so many Reece crosses, James crosses for Tammy, but like I don't understand quite why we're doing why we're like. Of course, we have to use Reece James's crosses because why not? They're just amazing and such good quality. But Tammy Abraham isn't the best in the air compared to Giroud, so I don't know why we insisted on. And it seemed like we just keep recycling the ball to try and. So once if Reece James ever overhit a ball, we would just kind of recycle it to let him try and do it again. So, and a lot of them, they are quite hard to get onto, I'd imagine, because they're high up and they're fast crosses, but. Yeah, I would have preferred to at least maybe Reece James needs to adjust to Tammy Abraham, maybe, to see kind of put the crosses in a bit lower or just, yeah. It's not necessarily Tammy's fault, but yeah, something wasn't working between those two.
I think a frustration of mine watching the game, I thought, like you said, I think the crosses in some ways were the right decision, but then something that frustrates me a bit with Tammy is he isn't the best in the air, but he always seems to try to get anything on it, which usually I'd applaud. But sometimes he looks a bit like a giraffe slipping on ice. Sometimes he kind of throws something at it, and if you see Werner or Chilwell coming in at the back corner, the back post. Like if Reece James misses Abraham, he catches one of those. But sometimes Abraham will just swing a leg at something and it'll go out for the goal kick. And sometimes I think with Giroud, you get that extra bit of finesse where if he can't get it, he'll maybe get a knockdown or he'll cushion it down. Whereas Abraham just kind of swings at it a bit wildly sometimes. I think maybe there's a bit of maturity he needs to add to his game there. Because you can see Werner getting frustrated that the crosses are coming over. And I mean, Werner's obviously must be getting frustrated anyway at the moment with him kind of playing out of position to accommodate Abraham whilst Pulisic has been away. But I do think at the moment, although Abraham's been really strong this season, I'm not going to criticise him. In the big games, that's where Abraham really needs to mature his performances. And I think for the rest of the season, if providing Pulisic stays fit, I can see Lampard turning to Giroud or Werner as a centre forward and Pulisic obviously on the left. Because, like you say, I think the crosses are almost wasted with Tammy. And someone of his stature, you'd expect him to be converting all the crosses, but he does sometimes. He looks a little bit out of his depth in the air, I think, which is something he really needs to improve his game on, definitely.
Yeah, 100% agree. Yeah. Amart, what do you think on the whole Tammy thing and kind of he seemed a bit inefficient today?
Yeah, I think I agree with what both of you said, and especially what Alex said, because I was also getting frustrated with some of the way, some of what he was doing, some of the missed chances he was like he wasn't the chances he wasn't able to bury, because the thing was like just like Alex said, there were some situations where you see that like probably the cross wasn't targeted at him, there were some ZH crosses there was a ZH cross that I saw that the cross wasn't targeted at him, but it was targeted at Werner. But he tried to take it down, or he tried to do. I think he tried to kick it into the net, Latin style, but it didn't work, and it just went out because it should have gone to Werner, and Werner would have done something with it. So I think sometimes he needs to listen to the players around him because they always talk. So he shouldn't be taking on every chance. There are some players around him that because he has been good with that. That's the thing. He has been good with that this season. He has been a very good team player. He's always aware of people around him. But I think today he tried to do too much, and it let him down a bit. So I don't think it's James' fault. But yes, James' crosses were very good. They were most of the times pinpoints directly to Abraham, but Abraham was a little bit too slow, or it was too early, or probably he did something wrong, and yeah, it was very frustrating to watch at times.
I
I
think.
think in
Oh, go on,
Tammy's
Mohammed.
defense,
Sorry.
sorry, no worries. I think in Tammy's defense, I would like to say one thing, and that's tonight Tammy looked a little bit like he wanted to prove himself, and going back to the point where Amart said, listen to the other players. Um, in his defense, what I'm going to say is if he would have scored a goal tonight, and we all know how much a goal against Spurs means, he would have kind of went up to Frank Lampard and essentially been like, I've been scoring goals. I've been performing well for the team. I think I should start ahead. And now that Pulisic looked like he's going to be coming back in the next few weeks, hopefully against Sevilla, we see him start. If not, at least get more minutes, and then hopefully be fully back against the Leeds game where we're going to have fans in there as well. So I think with Tammy, it's the case of he wants to prove himself. He knows there's Timo Werner who's gonna have the first spot, but because of his performance, even though tonight his finishing that goal, even though it was offside, that finishing was incredible. Um, he knows that there's Giroud, there's Werner and Tammy Abraham, and unless he wants to go out on a loan, he wants to fight for his place at the club. And I think we're hearing news about Giroud leaving, but he's got a point to prove to Frank Lampard, and that's why he's trying to, if you want to say, trying to be a bit greedy and trying to finish it himself, and trying to um, score the goals himself, kind of thing.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, and I know what you're saying, but I'll have to disagree a bit because during the season, like most of the time that he has started, you can clearly see that he understands his place. He understands that he needs to work with the team. But like you said, today he tried to prove himself too much. But I don't think that is what his intention was. He was trying to do his best for the team. But sometimes his best didn't work. Like what he was trying didn't work. So he could have switched instead of trying to score, instead of trying to attack the crosses head on or whatever it is. He should be listening to people around him as well, because if you try it once, twice, and you fail, you should be trying to see people around you. I think Werner is a perfect example of that. I think the last game that we played, the one that he gave, no, it was the Champions League game, the Premier League game that we played, the Newcastle game, the run that he went on. In that game, you could see that Werner was making so many mistakes, and he wasn't bearing chances. But he realized that it's not all about him. If he saw Abraham free and gave him the pass, so I think Abraham should be making those decisions also as well. Like he should be considering the people around him as well, instead of just um, trying to be um, the the how to say the hero of the game.
I think yeah, that is a fair point. That's somewhere where I can agree with you, and um, yeah, if you can't, if you're not able to do something, pass it on, give it to other people. Sometimes doing that means that you're the bigger person, and you've had a bigger impact than anyone else. But yeah, um, that's one way of looking at it, and you've kind of taken my point and said, let me smash that to the ground
no,
because that's a perfect reply to that one.
no, I think your point applies to this game. As for this game, your point applies very perfectly well. But I just don't want it to be like that is how he's been behaving throughout. But I don't think that's his mentality. But
Yeah, no, I'm not saying um, Tammy. doesn't deserve to start. And I think we had this, not a debate, but kind of a discussion a few weeks back when we said, if we have an option where if Pulisic comes back, who are we seeing starting? Are we seeing Werner and Tammy Abraham? And I think all three of us said, looking at the form right now, we would go with Tammy Abraham. And that's, but tonight it kind of felt like he still wanted to prove Frank Lampard that he's better and he should get picked more often. But yeah, your point of, pass it on, give it to other players, try and be the bigger person and say, tonight's not my night, let someone else have it. Takes a lot of courage, and I think he kind of lacked that today. But yeah, we were really close to almost scoring. And here's a stat for you guys. 13 shots, only 3 on target. What do we make from that, Alex?
Yeah, that's definitely disappointing. 3 shots on target's not great. As well, I think we've seen with Lloris as well. Lloris is a fabulous keeper, but he is one of those keepers that you can get there, you can get at him. I think we should have been a bit more brave in front of goal. I noticed that once again in a big game, Mason Mount is one of the players who kind of you can rely on to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and try and make something happen. I thought Mason Mount had another really, really good game. I think with the Tammy Abraham discussion, I think Tammy Abraham has been wonderful this season and has warranted his place in the team. I don't see Tammy being in the starting 11 in Lampard's strongest 11. I think the strongest front 4 or front 5 would still be Havertz and Mount in the 2 number 8 positions, left wing Pulisic, striker Werner, right wing Ziyech. I think Tammy Abraham at the minute is justifying selection, but yeah, I really think at the moment that, Tammy is staying in on form, but really when we get to the really nitty gritty of it, I think Tammy Abraham will probably lose his place for Pulisic. I don't know. It's one of those games. If we lost 1-0, we'd have absolutely ruined the chances. Drawing 0-0, I think it can be forgiven. I think Giroud at the end probably should have buried that chance, but tired, rusty legs off the bench. I don't know. I think attacking it wasn't our best day, which is a shame because it was a game where we didn't really need to be that on it defensively. But, I'll take it over last season. I think we still improved massively.
Yeah, I think I'll agree on that one. Even though, the last, if I can remember last season, both the games that we won against, I think both of our games against Spurs we won. It's still an improvement. It's still a way forward. And the way we performed tonight, I'll give it a good performance. Yeah. So sorry, you had
One thing I just want to add
Alex,
is
sorry.
Who's
speaking? I'm so confused.
This is codename Jose. I think we have to take into account as well. Whilst we have improved, I think Spurs have also improved. They also had a fantastic transfer window. So I don't think to assume that we, after doing the double last year, and I guess Mourinho coming in with a really defensive attitude, it wasn't going to be easy. And yeah, so whilst the 3 shots on target, I agree with Alex, is really annoying and frustrating. There's not much else we could really do other than maybe move the ball a bit quicker and attack and just kind of crisper passing. So yeah, it was a frustrating one, but yeah, I think it was almost a typical Jose performance where he just wasn't going to let us come away with the win there. And like you could see him last minute, he just used up his subs in the extra time, and it's just like, yeah, he's going for the draw. And whilst it's not the best result for us, at least it's still a clean sheet. We didn't lose. If we had lost, I think we would have had some really good ground to be annoyed, frustrated, whatever you want to call it. But it's not the end of the world, is what I'm trying to say. It's fine. They are the most other than us, they are the most informed team. So it was never going to be a typical kind of Spursy where we just kind of sub on Marcos Alonso and he just turns into prime Roberto Carlos. So, although I wish Lampard did do that because Alonso always seems to turn up against Spurs.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I was gonna say that as soon as you mentioned. I was like, for some reason, Alonso just he does turn into Roberto Carlos against Spurs. Um, that I don't think he had a chance anyways today to start, but yeah. Sorry to cut you off. I think you were saying something, Jose.
No, you weren't. I was pretty much at the end of my. This fine. I didn't really have much else. I just didn't like this game. Yeah, I don't think anyone really did. It was frustrating. There were some still good signs, especially in the defense. Not just the defenders, but the midfield. I thought, Mount was good. Kante was good. Kovacic, I thought was good. But still, an attack from all three of them, especially the two guys you rely on to make something. At least Kovacic and Mount. The passing could have been a bit better, but that's too harsh. Mount was good, Kovacic was good, but just it just wasn't really going to happen today. But I think that's all I have to say on this game now.
Yeah, I think let me add a
Yeah.
little to it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's good that we went with a defensive kind of strategy for the game, but I think probably going with a more attacking minded kind of strategy would have worked because I feel like in the midfielders were superb. They were very good at doing what they were supposed to do, or what they were best at. But having Kovacic and Kante and Mount, just it only means that it's only Mount that will be doing the attacking, most of the attacking. Kovacic and Kante will be doing most of the defending. So with that, you automatically tell them that you're coming to defend. But if you had Havertz, I think Havertz should have come on earlier. I think Pulisic should have come on earlier as well. I don't think they should have started, but I think they should have come on earlier.
That was a debate a lot of the fans are having.
I really think so because I feel like even though we went in to defend, that's true, but we've been able to come away with clean sheets against other teams with Havertz and what's the name with Havertz in the team. So even with Havertz there, Havertz is also good defensively, but with the thing that he offers that Kovacic will not offer is that he can give accurate passes into the final third or something. So he is able to attack more than Kovacic because Kovacic was excellent today. Like I said, Kovacic and Mount and Kante, they were excellent in the middle, but they did what they can do best. Kovacic isn't the kind of guy that um, runs through the defense. He tried that a couple of times and he was brought down, and which was unfortunate because you could see that he wanted to be more attacking minded, but he just couldn't. But he was very good in defense. He was very good. Both him and Kanti were very good in stopping Son and Kane, which was very very good to see. But I think Havertz coming in would have offered better threats. It was also weird for me for Werner to come off um, instead of probably Tommy. That was also a very weird substitution for me. I wasn't expecting that because I thought Werner was doing very well. I think in the first half, most of our attack was coming on the left. And on the left, it was him and Chilwell. They were the ones providing, and even Mount. Mount was also there helping out with the crosses that were coming in and the chances that were coming in. But I don't know why Lampard chose to take Werner off. In the end, we still had the draw, but I think that was where our issues were. I think Havertz and Pulisic should have come on way earlier, probably after the 60th minute or something. I think that was where our issues were.
Yeah, I think don't know whether this was a kind of like a tactical move from Lampard or kind of a way of saying that they're not fully fit. And I think this is where a lot of fans were saying sometimes Lampard does get quite hesitant on bringing on injured players or players who haven't played in a while. We saw that with Ziyech. We saw that with Pulisic at the start when he kept delaying it, kept saying next week, next week, next week. And eventually when we saw Pulisic, he got injured again. So either he's being precautious or he's being overprotective right now. But again, adding those two into the mix made quite an impact. Of course, I agree. But yeah, overall, I think that's all from this game. Just the ratings left. If anyone wants to add anything, Alex.
I was just going to weigh in on the Pulisic and Havertz substitution. Whilst I completely agree with what Amart's saying in that, I think they would have added that kind of the kind of power and the bit of magic we would have needed to maybe open Tottenham up. I think it was like a really fine chess match, this game. I think it was kind of everybody kind of put their pieces out, assessed the table. I think with Lampard, he kind of hoped that Jose would move first, which he kind of did by bringing Lo Celso on, which was kind of like a bit of more defensive movement. I think Ndombele was really good when he was on. So he was opening us up a little bit. I completely agree with you, Amart, in that Havertz has got that extra bit of a bit more of a dynamic player going forward, as is obviously Pulisic, who's just one of the best attackers we have. But I think with Lampard, he was kind of cautious that if he moved first and took off somebody and put on Havertz and Pulisic, he left them a bit more exposed. I think Kovacic did a really good job at kind of breaking down the attack, as did Mount. And I think Lampard was maybe a little bit overcautious of putting Havertz or Pulisic on right back from injury. Havertz obviously has had COVID, so his fitness isn't going to be as good as you'd like. I think it was one of those where it could have gone either way. We could have brought Havertz and Pulisic on and it opened the game. We could have brought Havertz and Pulisic on and that gave us the little bit of exposure that Tottenham needed, and then they could have gone on the counter-attack. So I think it's one of those games where both managers overthought a bit. It was like I say, it was like a chess match with both a battle of wits almost. I think Lampard kind of got the best of it in the end, maybe, but then the bottom line is Jose set up for a clean sheet and maintained a clean sheet. So I think the spoils of war kind of go to both of them, but I can see why people would be disappointed and frustrated, and only really Lampard knows why he went the way he did. But I'm not too dissatisfied with the substitutions, however, slightly dissatisfied with the result, obviously.
Yeah, I think
we all are.
I think Mourinho said exactly what I think Mourinho echoed something similar to what Alex said. Because after after the game, Mourinho was interviewed, his post-match interview. He said something about neither team wanted to make any mistake, neither team wanted to make any risk. Both of them were waiting for the other person to make a mistake, and none of them did. So I think Alex is right on that, because I think they both came in with practically the same mind. So it's hard to beat teams that are thinking similar. They want you to make the mistake, and you also want them to make a mistake. So it was a difficult one to how do I say it? It's a difficult game to play at, because both of you are playing practically the same way. So I understand that.
I think both points are valid. You can argue either way, and realistically, I think the fact that Alex said he wasn't happy with the result, I think everyone can agree with that. The fact that I'm surprised at right now is how we've managed to make a 0-0 draw go to 40 minutes of our podcast. But yeah, I think this is one of those kind of days where you don't have a lot to talk about other than the fact that you just pick out on very small things, and that those small things just add up to becoming the difference between a win and a draw or a loss. So yeah, let's go ahead with the ratings if everyone's fine with that. Amart, out of 10.
Yeah, I think the defense gives them a little bit of a boost, so I'll give them a 7.5.
For me, I'm gonna do it this way. So in defense, I'd give, I'll split the ratings and then kind of combine do it by averages. That's the only way I can make a good one. So yeah, I'm gonna say a 9 for defensively because we barely had anything to do, and then the attack, 6. I'm giving a 5. Yeah, no, we didn't score, so I can't give the attack anything higher than 6. So I'm going 5 in attack. So I'll go in total with with a 7, but it's a low 7 because just sour taste from the attack, or just not being able to put away the chances or scoring.
Alex, what about you?
I said to my partner before the game, I don't see how anyone can beat us at the minute. I stand by that. I think we're a really difficult team to beat. So defensively, I thought we were exactly how I expect us to be. So yeah, I'll echo Jose's thoughts on that. I'll give us like a 9 in defence. I think from an attacking point of view, yeah, it has to be like a 5 or a 6. I expect us to score 1 or 2 goals a game at the minute with the attacking firepower we have. I thought Ziyech was really off the pace today. I think he didn't. I think often in a lot of games of Ziyech, he sprays a lot of passes and gets his range. I don't think he did that today. And obviously, I thought Abraham was really poor. And apart from Werner getting the goal, which is offside, he kind of ghosted as well. I think he got a bit overshadowed by Abraham's kind of Bambi on ice routine. So yeah, I'm gonna give us a 7.3, a low 7 as well.
So I think fair enough. All of us 7. Alex gave it a low 7, so we'll count it as 6.95. That's okay. Sorry, Jose.
Sounds good to me. Let's get into the Sevilla game. Go on, Mohammed.
That's enough for the Premier League. We stand 3rd in the Premier League as of Sunday night. Don't know what's going to happen Monday, depending on how Leicester do. We're going to see our final standing for game week 10. But moving on, a very short turnover for both the podcast and for Chelsea as they face Sevilla in an away fixture on Tuesday night. It's a late kickoff, I'm guessing. Sorry, on Wednesday night, I think, yeah. So how are we feeling about that, Alex? Confident group winners?
Is it me or Jose?
It's you.
It's me. Yeah, I'm feeling confident. To be honest, at the minute with Chelsea, I feel relatively confident every game. Until we get kind of found out. I remember when Conte changed the system to the sort of 3-5-2-1. Yeah, 3-4-2-1 or whatever it was. Yeah. We just felt like we'd never lose for a while. And I feel like that's happened with Lampard. I feel like he's found his system. The players are playing how he wants to play. I don't see us losing that many more matches for a while unless we get found out. So I'm confident against Sevilla. I imagine there's going to be a lot of rotation. I think Lampard was disappointed that he couldn't pick Hudson-Odoi today. I know a lot of fans were, but I do think that Lampard wanted to pick Hudson-Odoi, but there just wasn't anyone on that bench that they could drop. So Hudson-Odoi had to take the hit. I imagine Hudson-Odoi will start on Wednesday. Yeah, I'm feeling confident. I feel confident all the time. We'll probably lose 1-0.
I'm feeling confident, but we're losing.
We need to beat them. We need to show that we're the top dogs in the group, win the group, get it put to bed nice and early. I don't want to be drawing Bayern Munich. I can see us going deep into the Champions League this year if we time our run. I really do not want to be coming second in the group and facing Bayern Munich or someone like that. We need to win this group, show that we're a power now, and beating Sevilla is the right game to do that. You know, drawing against them was a decent result at the time. We're a lot better than we were when we played them a few weeks ago. So we should be winning this game, I think. I hope.
Yeah, I think if we don't, then it's going to be kind of concerning. Not the fact that, you know, no one's going to be like saying Lampard out or anything, but it will be concerning in a point of view where when we were looking at the draw, we were saying this is probably the easiest group we're going to get. We need to top it, make sure we don't get Bayern Munich or Barcelona or anyone like that, because no one wants to face them and get out in the round of 16. Let's try and get a run in to the Champions League. So, Amart, how are we feeling on Wednesday night? Are we happy? Are we going after the Spurs after a boring Jose park the bus game?
Yeah.
Are we going there and getting a win?
Yeah, I think they're going to go there with a win because Havertz didn't start today. Pulisic didn't start today. I'm very sure that against Sevilla, we're going to have our full team starting, and probably we'll see Werner in attack again as the main center forward. And like Alex said, I'm looking at some of the group tables right now, and I'm seeing that some of the groups have. I think Group G, Barcelona is first and Juventus is second. And then Group H, Man United is first, PSG is second. So, yeah, we want to win the group and get an easy side, all right. But with the way some of these teams are finishing second in some of the groups, it's likely that we might get a big team. So, I think we need to prepare ourselves either way. We shouldn't expect that we'll get an easy group or an easy matchup just because we finished first. Definitely, we have to finish first. That will give us a better chance of getting an easier group. But we shouldn't think that way because there are other groups that have solid and very world class teams who are second as well. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there so that people will not think that so far as we finish first, we should get an easy matchup.
Yeah, I think that's what I meant. I didn't mean to say like getting first place is going to guarantee your team that's going to be easy to beat, but the likelihood of getting a weaker team is higher. But yeah, Champions League is never easy. I think you know, like we saw against Rennes, no one guessed that we're going to have a Giroud last minute winner to secure the round of 16. Everyone went and said this should be an easy game. We win 2-0 and we'll come back home with 3 points. But yeah, I think Jose, or should I say Sevilla now. Um, how are we feeling for that game?
I am under no illusions. I do think this is going to be a tough game, probably similar in difficulty to the Spurs game. Really, they have a strong defense again. So and yeah, I definitely don't think it's going to be easy. So I'm really hoping we can start Havertz, we can start Pulisic, we can start Hudson-Odoi. I'm really hoping that we can just get as much of our attacking threat on the pitch because we'll need it. We haven't scored. I don't think. To be fair, this is more of a Premier League thing, but we haven't scored a goal against the top six yet. So, or in the traditional top six, you could say at least. But so I am a little worried about our ability to score against the better defenses. Although you could say Rennes had a solid team and solid defense, so you could excuse that. But yeah, I'm definitely hoping for not a reaction, but just a affirmation of our attacking talents because yeah, it's gonna be a tricky game but it's an important one. We really don't want to lose it. I'm fine if we draw this one, if I'm honest. We just can't let Sevilla get too far ahead of us and then with the head to head. Yeah, oh yeah, that's it now. So but essentially I think if we finish on the level points, it goes down to head record, I think. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That is right. Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, if we can get a score draw in this game, then if we do end up finishing level on points, then we'll go first because of getting an away goal here. And Sevilla, they only drew 0-0 with us at Stamford Bridge. So if we get a score draw,
that's correct.
that would be that would really help us out. Because I really, it would be if we win this game, I'll be like mega impressed because their defense is very good. So yeah, score draw is what I'm hoping for. If we can score, that would be nice. But score draw is if we can come over that, I don't have any problems. But it's going to be tricky.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be very tricky going into that match. Yeah, so let's start off with our predicted lineup as we do every week. I think uncontested as usual, Mendy in goal.
Of course.
Definitely Mendy in goal, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Mohammed, I think you should just stop asking about the goalkeeper now because just because you get the chance to mention your favourite player.
It would be mental to start Kepa right now, wouldn't it? It would just be such a shot in the foot if you just started to just go, oh, let's just give Kepa some minutes. No.
If we start Kepa and we concede a goal, and even if we win, I think even if we win 5-1 and Kepa concedes, that'll be the end. Like, I think we won't see the positive of that game. We'll just sit there and talk Kepa.
Yeah. I think the only way
and I think
the only way probably Kepa or Caballero might get into the team is if probably we secure qualification. Like we've already secured qualification, but if we secure being top of the group against Krasnodar, we might switch it up a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, if Mendy's fine in starting, might as well give him a shot. Back four. I'll go with this one first. Usually I'm the last one to name it because I want to listen to your guys's lineups. But I'm going with. I think Aspie has to start for me. Who got a rest? I think was it Reece James who got a rest last week. So I'll give Chilwell a rest, and then I'll say so that would be James, Aspie, and then probably Zuma, and maybe have Rudiger on. I'm tempted to say Silva instead of Zuma because Silva got a break last week. But yeah, it's very confusing. Yeah, I'll go with that back four.
I'm confused, Mohammed. You said Aspi and James and Rudiger and who at
Silva.
Silva.
No, sorry, Zuma.
So you're going
Zuma.
Aspi at left back.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Aspi or Emerson will play left back. I wouldn't be that surprised to see Emerson
Oh,
play
there's
left back. I think Chilwell will definitely be rested. I think it's a complete waste to play Chilwell if we can avoid it. I don't think Silva will play either on Wednesday. I doubt they'll make him travel.
Yeah.
Do we see Christensen play?
No.
No.
I hope not.
Kristen who? He's not played for Chelsea, and so if it was Krasnodar this week, then I would say start just go Emerson, go Christensen, go Rudiger, go just really get all the rest we need. But this game has the potential to decide whether we whether we come up against Bayern Munich or someone else, whoever finished
It's still a
second.
big game, isn't it? It's still a big game. We can't be just playing around too much.
No, so I don't want to risk Emerson if I'm honest in this one at least. But in terms of centre back pairing, it makes if so. You wouldn't be surprised if Silva doesn't travel and we just Rudiger's not been the worst in the games he's played, so I'd be fine with him, and of course Zuma, and of course Aspi. So yeah, I'd go Aspi, Rudiger, Zuma, Chilwell for now, just because the game is still quite important.
Okay. So the only difference between mine and yours would be Chilwell and Reece James.
Yeah. Well, the difference is it's just the fullback.
Yeah.
I'd rest Reece. Depends if we're playing if we're playing Tammy or basically if we're playing Giroud up top, which could I don't know. I think he deserves to get more minutes. So if Giroud is playing, then I would probably start Reece. But if not, then I wouldn't start Reece for the crossing threat, I guess, for Giroud.
I agree with that. I think at the minute, Giroud sort of warrants a start at the moment. I don't see Werner starting up front. I don't see Werner starting on Wednesday either, really. I don't know. I think Werner needs a rest. He looked like he needed a rest last week, and then today he was very off the pace. I imagine we'll see a front three of Ziyech, Pulisic, and Giroud. Sorry, I'm skipping forward positions. I'm getting overexcited.
We'll get to the fun stuff in a sec. Amart, what's your preferred back four?
Yeah, I think I'll go with I don't know what to say. I think I'll go with Chilwell. I'll go with Chilwell and oh yeah, this is tough. I don't know whether because of the importance of the game. I don't know whether to put James or Aspie. But yeah, I'll go with Aspie. I think James needs a rest. So Chilwell on the left, Aspie on the right, and in the middle definitely Thiago Silva and Zuma.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Silva does start. Didn't he get rested last? Was it last week, or am I getting confused?
Yeah, last week.
You never know.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I don't think that's correct. Actually, sorry. I think he did play against Rennes. I think.
No, Silva played against Rennes.
He did, yeah. So
yeah, he did.
Maybe
he didn't do anything wrong, but we did concede.
Yeah, he didn't play. He didn't play against Newcastle.
Yeah, that's the right.
Yeah.
Alex, who have you got in your back four?
In my back four, I'm going to go left back. Emerson, right back, Aspie. No, right back. I'm going to go right back, Reece James, and then I'm going to go Zuma and Rudiger as the centre backs.
Nice.
Yep. So all along, I think almost the same ones here and there. A few changes, but if you want to see the full lineup, which will be posted on our social media. Cheeky plug there. But yeah, midfield. I think last week we did the attackers first. Let's give the midfield a chance this time. Alex, you can go with this one.
Midfield, relatively unchanged. I'm going to go Kante, Havertz, Mount. I think Havertz will come in, get him some extra minutes. I don't think we'll need Kova and Kante. I think Havertz, Mount, Kante.
Okay. Amart, your theory.
Yeah, I'll have to go with the same thing. I think we have to have enough threats in attack. So I think I'll go with Havertz, Mount, and Kante, the same as Alex.
Okay. Jose / Sevilla.
I am not so sure because Jorginho, I think he's started every single Champions League game so far, and I'm not sure why because I do prefer that. Much as I do love him, Jorginho, Kante's just better at this point in that role. So, or not role, but that position wise. But yeah, so I do think Jorginho will probably start. So I guess to try and be accurate, and to be fair, I'll go with my predicted lineup for the next couple of days. But I think it'll probably end up being. We all want to see Havertz starting. It's annoying because when Jorginho starts, Kovacic basically has to start with him. Jorginho can't play without Kovacic anymore. It's pretty much impossible. Like it just didn't work. I can't remember the last time that Jorginho started a game without Kova. So it would probably be Jorginho, Kova, and I would go Mount.
Yeah, Mount's inevitable.
Oh, of course, yeah, it has to be Mount. But yeah,
I'd say that as a good thing, by the way.
Yeah,
I think Mount's the player in the team at the minute where I just think he's undroppable. He just gives an 8 out of 10 every game.
Yeah, I was always I'm not a hater or anything. I'm just kind of more of a skeptic. It's just in the Champions League because until last, which is kind of why I loved his performance against Rennes so much, was he put in pretty much a man of the match performance in the Champions League, and I think it kind of just. So in the Bayern Munich games last year, it seemed like the only player in our midfield or team really that belonged was Kovacic. He was just playing. He was the only really one who was playing well, and then since then I've been like, I want to see Mount putting in that vintage Champions League performance, and against Rennes he did, and that was probably the best thing about my favorite thing about the Rennes game last week. So yeah, Mount obviously has to start.
I think for me, I'm going to go with Mount, Jorginho. This is Now I've just realised how tough this is.
Wait, it has to be Kova. You can't say Jorginho without Kova.
I mean, that's the thing. I want to say Jorginho, Kovacic, and then Kai Havertz, and say let's rest Mount. But then I'm also saying he's fit. He looks in good touch of form, so why rest him? And then you've got someone like Kai Havertz who needs time to come back into the team, and this game would be perfect for him to come back. Havertz, Mount, and Jorginho. Sorry, Kovacic.
That's a fair one. I hope Havertz starts. I really do. I even though I've not gone within my lineup, it would really be nice to see him finally start a game. But I don't know how Lampard plans on doing it and playing Jorginho unless he does actually drop Jorginho. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see when Havertz eventually does start.
Yeah. So the front three, I'm going to go first on this one. Okay, I've just made the wrong choice. Pulisic, and just because I don't want to choose between Werner or Tammy, I'm going to say Giroud. So Pulisic, Giroud, and let's get Ziyech on the left. Alex?
I'm going to go Pulisic, Giroud, Hudson-Odoi. I think Hudson-Odoi will definitely start. Well, not definitely. That's confident. I think he might start. I think he deserves to start. So yeah, I'm going to go Pulisic, Giroud, Hudson-Odoi. Brand new front three for now.
Makes sense.
What's your front three?
Yeah, I think I had a different front three, but hearing Alex mention, to be honest, I completely forgot which isn't fair. But I completely forgot about hudson-odoi, and I think he might. I think he might start. I think he might start. So I'll chop off my previous my planned one, and I think I'll go with Odoi and then Pulisic. In the middle, I think Giroud deserves to start. So yeah, Giroud, Pulisic, and Callum.
Yeah, and I'm going to agree with both Amart and Alex. And yeah, it absolutely has to be. We got to play the guys. Well, I mean, yeah, maybe it's too early to start Pulisic. Who knows? He might need a couple more bench appearances or sub appearances before he can start. But at least what I'm hoping is, yeah, Pulisic, Giroud. Giroud has to start. Cho has to start. I mean, it's pretty annoying that Cho didn't even manage to make the bench this game. But I think Alex mentioned earlier on, oh, it's just, or actually, I can't remember if it was Alex, on just how you can't really bench any of the other guys. You
Yeah,
wanted to bring Pulisic onto the bench.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah. It's just I looked at that bench today. It was so strong.
Yeah,
It's like dreamland considering where we were a few years ago. But Havertz and Pulisic on the bench, you can't. I love Hudson-Odoi, but you can't pick him over Pulisic. Pulisic, when he's fit, is arguably our best player, or in the top three. And Hudson-Odoi was fantastic on Wednesday, but Pulisic had to be on the bench. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think Hudson-Odoi has to start on Wednesday.
if you think about it,
Yeah.
on our bench we had at least four £50 million plus players on the bench: Kepa, Jorginho, Pulisic, and Havertz. That's pretty ridiculous.
yeah.
I was wondering who the fourth one was, and then I realized, yeah, we paid 70 million for Kepa.
Man.
Yeah, best not to mention that.
It's fine. Let's say that Kepa was a free and we just overpaid for Rudiger. That'll make me feel better.
But I think Rudiger's price is justified. The way he's convinced Havertz and Werner to
We
join
paid
in.
70 million to get the best football agent. That's how we can think about it instead.
I think my front three, I've already said that, but yeah, I think overall it kind of gets confusing for you guys to listen unless you're writing it down. But yeah, again, if you want to look at the actual ones, we post our personal ones. I think it's usually an hour, 2 hours before the match. Predicted lineups and then the score predictions and everything. That will be on there as well. I think that wraps up the whole episode. I'm quite surprised we went over the 1 hour mark for this one. Kind of thought we'll struggle after 35 minutes because of the boring match that we had tonight, and then not much to review against Sevilla again. So thank you for everyone. Thank you, Alex, for giving us your time.
No, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, great to have you on the team.
Let me add something.
Yeah, sorry, Mark, go on.
Yeah, this doesn't really affect Chelsea. It doesn't affect us on the table. It doesn't affect us. Definitely doesn't affect in the Champions League. But Arsenal lost today, and it puts a smile on my.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
I forgot about
Just
that.
drop that in.
I think I'm on Twitter right now. Arteta out is trending at number one.
Is it actually?
As Arsenal lose.
Wow.
Yep, number one.
That's crazy.
And I think, yeah, number one trending, and then second is Arsenal versus Wolves as they lose 2-1. And fun fact, they haven't won a game since October, mid October. So that's almost going to be 2 months in the next 2 weeks.
This is exactly why
that makes me happy.
This is exactly why last week I said Arsenal aren't really our rivals anymore. They have nothing to offer.
So Amart's gone after Willian. We've got a TikTok of that. Maybe we need a TikTok of him going after Arteta and Arsenal.
Okay, alright, it will be fun.
I mean, I think was it you who said there's not a lot of good TikToks of you on there. So yeah, might as well give you a chance.
Okay.
The most controversial topics.
Just a slip up.
No,
It's a slip up.
Yeah. Twice in one episode. Yeah, talking about slip ups. I don't have a catchy line for that, but yeah. Let's end the episode there
The
before it
the
gets.
the,
Oh man, smooth as ever, man.
the,
Smooth as
segue
ever.
the segue king, has failed today.
In my defense, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm running on 3 hours of sleep. I was up all night yesterday editing the podcast and the previews and everything. So yeah, I'll take the blame for this smooth transition, but I think we should let it slide. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, listening. If you're on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. We're about, I think, 28. Is it 27? Um, yeah, 28 right now. I'm checking. Until we get 100, so make sure you do that. If you don't remember, I haven't mentioned it in quite a while. I said if we hit 250 followers on all of our platforms, and I need to update you guys on this one because we've hit 250 on Instagram. We're about to hit 100 on YouTube, and we're on 155 on Twitter. So if you're kind enough, and if you want a Chelsea shirt, home, away, third, I don't know why you would buy the third one, but if you want it, we're going to give it away if we reach 250 on all of our accounts. Again, great having you, Alex. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this team. Great to have you on as a lead writer.
You're welcome.
And to have you on.
No, it's great. I'm hoping to feature more, get my voice out there, instead of just my ramblings on the old internet.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on, man. It's always nice to have guests on these. Yeah,
Pleasure.
yeah, we'll get you on for sure in the future.
All right, guys. We're signing out, but don't forget that we have partnered up with a Discord server. Just before I end the episode, the link will be in the description. As always, make sure to join it tonight. I think I was online most of the time. I was talking and chatting with the people on Discord. If you want to join that, you want to have a chat while match days or even on a general basis, tag me along, ping me, and we can have a chat on there if you want about Chelsea. And what we do is we usually try and get, if we ever need a guest, we usually ping the Discord server first, asking for someone to come on if they want. So watch out for that, and we'll see you guys next time.